HPJ. What's up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys with my Harpy Lady deck profile to start off July with, as we await the TCG's release of Harpie Conductor and the TCG Forbidden Limited list. So I'm not gonna rush it too long. Let's get into the deck profile itself. So I'm running 3 copies of Harpy Perfumer, 3 copies of Harpy Channeler, and 3 copies of Harpy Harpist. Alright, 2 copies of Harpy Oracle, 1 copy of Harpy Dancer, 2 copies of Harpy Lady 1, 1 copy of Cyber Harpy Lady, 2 copies of Harpy Queen, and 1 copy of Harpy Lady Sisters. So that is it for the monsters. For the spells, I'm running 3 copies of Hysteric Sign, 2 copies of Elegance, 2 copies of Harpie's Hunting Ground, 2 copies of Lumiere Split, 1 copy of Harpie's Featheress, 1 copy of Regeki, and 1 copy of Monster Reborn. So that is it for the spells. For the traps, I'm running 3 copies of Harpie's Featherstorm, 2 copies of Hysteric Party, 1 copy of Harpy Lady Elegance, 2 copies of Powerful Rebirth, and 2 copies of Torrential Tribute. So that is it for the spells. For the traps in the main deck. For the extra, I'm running 3 copies of Harpie Conductor, 2 copies of Great Fly, 1 copy of Fighting Darumidol, 1 copy of Barrel Load Dragon. So that is it for my Link monsters. Then for my Exceeds, I'm running 1 Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, 1 copy of Tornado Dragon, 1 copy of Lightning Chidori, 1 copy of Castel, the Sky Blasting Musketeer, 1 copy of Ice Beast Zero Fine, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, 1 copy of Gaga Cowboy, and 1 copy of number 41, Babushka, the Terribly Tired Cheat Eater. So that is pretty much it for the Harpy Lady lineup and for the deck profile itself. So I'll go over a couple of the combinations and stuff. So I'm running a set of Perfumer, Channeler, and Harpist. These are pretty much the 3 main deck Harpy monsters with they're pretty much the overall consent of being ran at 3. Harpy Perfumer has the ability to add a spell trap card that specifically lists Harpy Lady Sisters in its text from your deck to your hand. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpy monster, you can add 2 cards instead of 1, but they cannot share the same name. Harpy Channeler has the ability to discard 1 Harpy monster from your 1 Harpy card from your hand to the graveyard. To summon 1 Harpy. Discard 1 Harpy card to special summon 1 Harpy monster from your deck to the field in defense. If you control you should only use that effect once a turn. If you control a dragon type monster, her level changes from 5 to 7, and getting her the optimal plays, of course, with Perfumer and Harpy Oracle and their effects. Not to mention the effect of Harpie's Featheress, and just the fact that she has the ability to summon your Harpy monsters from your deck, which is a great addition to the Harpies, and a ton of things to discard from her effect. Speaking of cards to discard for her effect, we have Harpy Harpist. When this card is in the graveyard, because it was sent to the graveyard this turn, during the end phase, you can add 1 Winged Beast monster that's level 4 with 15 or less attack from your deck to your hand. So you have a ton of options, of course, with the Harpies to either get cards like Channeler, Perfumer, Oracle, Dancer, Harpy Lady 1, and then have the ability, of course, to select 1 other Wingy Beast monster you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls when this card is normal summoned, and return those cards to hand. So you can use each effect of Harpist per turn, once per turn, which is fine. She has removal ability, she has search effect, and it's a great utilization of their effects. So that is pretty much these 3 ladies and 3 of the monsters I run the most of. Now let's move on to Harpy Oracle. So I dropped from 2 to 1, from 3 to 2, just because I want to fit in some additional cards With Harvey Oracle, you can summon her when a level 5 or higher Harpy monster is on your field. And during the end phase of the turn, choose the monster to summon. You can have one Harpy spell or trap card. One spell or trap card exclusively lists Harpy Lady Sisters in its text from your graveyard to your hand. So she gives you recycle effects, and she's an easy special summon if you have the conditions set. Not to mention, just a little note, because of her effect, you can also see Harpy's Hunting Ground in her orbs that she is, she has in her hands. So it pretty much synergizes with her effect of retrieving those cards that are in the graveyard as a retrieval of your past, or maybe foreseeing the future. Alright, so that is Oracle. We move on to Harpy Dancer. Pretty much Dancer may see some more play, but that depends on Divine Wind and the Mist Valley. And that depends on how flexible you want to get with Divine Wind and its additional effects. Well, its main effect, because of Harpy Dancer's effect, which is to return one wind monster you control back to hand, give an additional summon of wind monster. So in combination with Harpy Conductor, Harpy Harpist, Divine Wind and the Mist Valley, those are options to really just take advantage of Harpy Dancer's effect. Dancer isn't as potent as she used to be because there isn't really much back row being set around. You do have your option of your own Harpy cards and of course Harpy Hunting Grounds effect. But that's pretty much it, because as a monster you probably don't want to see too often in hand. And if you do, it's you either search for her so you can have plays with her, or you're fetching her off of Channeler and then you're having Channeler's effect do some stuff on you. Or Hysteria Party, or resolve effect of a Lumiere Split. So that is Dancer. And then of course we're going to move on to my Harpy Ladies of Choice. No, I'm sorry, we're going to move on to Harpy Queen first. And Queen pretty much discards herself to add Harpy's Hunting Ground from your deck to your hand. And she's the first monster of the archetype to have the phrase, this card's name becomes Harpy Lady on the field in the graveyard. So it helps stretch out the Harpy archetype itself, because Oracle, Perfumer, Channeler, Dancer, and Harpist share the same effect. This is an effect that only activates a continuous effect that hurts on the field in the graveyard. It can be negated by other cards' effects, but they are still Harpy Lady in the graveyard, so it gives them additional oomph there. So we move on from Queen and we go straight on to Cyber Harpy Lady and Harpy Lady 1. These are pretty much, in addition to Harpy Lady Sisters, the monsters that will be summoned off of Elegant Egotist. Because Harpy Lady 1 and Cyber Harpy Lady are always treated as Harpy Lady while on the field in the graveyard. And then, of course, Cyber Harpy Lady's additional beater, Harpy Lady 1, gives that additional 300 attack to your wind monsters. And then the Harpy Lady Sisters. Although these monsters happen to be one of the deck's biggest problems of a brick, besides Pet Dragon, the playability of Harpy Sisters just got a lot better because of the fact that we have a lot of these cards that can search for spells and traps that revolve around them, as well as such as summoning them from the graveyard thanks to card effects of Harpy Lady Elegance and Lumiere Split effect. So you have that additional effect, and we have the update, of course, because these are super Harpy Lady Sisters, so it doesn't have the whole phrase of this card must first be special summoned by Elegant Egotist, which newer cards do. And we even have an ultra variation of Harpy Lady Sisters. So I think 1 is just enough. I don't think 2 or 3 is needed. And you just have a ton of range with Harpy Lady Sisters. That is Sisters. That's pretty much it for the monsters. Now we're going to move on to the spells. And of course, with the spells, we have to start off with Hysteric Sign. A must-have F3, allowing you to search your deck for any 3 Harpy cards with a different name when this card is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard during the end phase. Now, if this card is activated, you can add 1 Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which gives you plays with Elegant Egotist. So, but you cannot activate both effects during the same turn. So you do know that. It is a great card. Of course, you can pop with Harpy's Hunting Ground. You can just destroy it with Harpy Conductor's effect. And you have ways to discard it so you can trigger its additional effect. So that is the lovely Hysteric Sign. Now we move on to Elegant Egotist. So I'm driving to Ego because I want to see a lot of my Harpy Lady summons, so I can go into a lot of Link plays, a lot of Exquisite plays, and then, if anything, have a ton of beatdown. Hopefully we do get a retrain of Harpy Lady Sisters in the future, and that will have even more targets with Elegant Egotist. We have Hysteric Sign to search for it, we have Harpy Perfumer to search for it, we have Harpy Oracle to retrieve it from the grave. And Hysteric Sign has the ability to retrieve it from the grave. So you're not missing out on too much from that. So that is Elegant Egotist. Then Harpy's Hunting Ground gives 200 additional attack to all wind beast monsters on the field. Its other additional effect is that when Harpy Lady or Sisters is normal or special summon, the conductor of the summon selects a solar trap on the field and destroys it. So it turns your Harpies into walking MSTs. The 200 additional attack and defense does help in a lot of cases. And you have cards to search, and you have cards to retreat. So that is Harpy's Hunting Ground. And the only reason why I'm running 2 is because I don't want to run 3 because I don't want to clog into it. Alluring Mirror Split. So the only bad draw I have with this card is that it doesn't say if your Harpy Lady or Sisters is destroyed by a battle and or card effect. To give you the special summon of a Harpy monster whose original name is different from the one that was destroyed. If it read that, it'd be a little more broken. And I'd probably be running 3. Now, its additional effect is that if this card is destroyed by a Harpy card effect or your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Harpy monster from your graveyard, which is great because you have the range, you have all these additional Harpy Ladies and dragons and stuff like that, so you can take advantage of the Alluring Mirror Split, which is why I'm running 2 and not 3 because I don't want to draw into it too much, and I also have a ton of cards to search for it, and I have a card to retrieve it. So that is Alluring Mirror Split. We move on to Harpy's Feather Rest, which is pretty much this archetype Pot of Avarice. Target 3 Harpy Lady and or Harpy Lady Sisters in your grave, shuffle them back into your deck, draw a card. If you control level 5 or higher Harpy, you can draw 2 instead when this card is activated, so even more draw power. Then, the only back draw to this card, besides it being once per turn, is the fact that if you do activate this card and it resolves, you can only special summon wind monsters for the rest of the turn. Which, if you're not running a supply of wind monsters, can be a bad draw, but because Harpies have access to Harpie Conductor, Harpie Phantasmal, Chidori, Tornado Dragon, Castel, I believe we'll be getting a wind monster for the Links as well, in addition to Great Fly. So it's not too bad of a card there. It's just you have to know what your supply and demand can help you with. You can also run a couple of tuner monsters like the Wind Witches to help you speed up into some synchro summons. Maybe you want to play Crystal Wind Synchro Dragon, go into Stardust Dragon, and have those options as well. So that is Harpy's Feather Rest. And I think 1 is just enough. 2 or 3, that's a little overdoing it because of its effect to send back. And you want to have your graveyard ready for Hysteric Party. Regeki, because Harpies lack the removal for monsters. We're not going to talk about Harpy's Phoenix Formation because that's just no. And I honestly do rather prefer Regeki over Dark Hole because it will focus on 100. You have the option to run both because they're both still legal in TCG. And I wouldn't mind running both if I have that option. So that's that. And then the only other card, of course, is the card to get monsters back from the grave, and that is Monster Reborn. So, trap cards. Harpy's Feather Storm. So, you have this first trap card to be able to be searched by Hysteric Sign. Next up is that if you control a Winged Beast, negate your opponent's monster effects until the end of the turn. In addition to that, if you control a Harpy monster, you can activate this card from your hand, which is perfect there. And then the only downside is this last effect because we don't have Harpy's Feather Storm in the TCG, Feather Duster in the TCG. If we had Harpy's Feather Duster in the TCG, 1, this would be a different setup from deck, and then 2, I wouldn't care about it getting destroyed because I have a way, because I'll be forcing my opponent to destroy this in response. And like I said, this is a really great trap card. It's literally second to the next card, which this is a must-have at 3, and this is very situations we have in between 2 or 3. And that is Hysteric Party. Discard 1 card from your hand, so summon as many Harpy Ladies as possible from your graveyard to the field. And when this card is destroyed, destroy those monsters. So, Hysteric Party, for the most part, is your massive special summon. It allows you to get your Harpy ladies from the graveyard, allows you to flood the board, and allows you to do a lot of your combo plays for your Link summons and your Exceed summons. Maybe you're running combo synchros, you can play into that as well. I just decided to run 2 because I didn't really think 3 was so necessary at this point in time. And we have a ton of ways to social summon in addition to a Hysteric Party, so it's not too bad there. But this is the massive summon of your Harpy monsters, so take advantage of it as needed. We move on to Harpy Lady Elegance. This trap card really just works with Harpy Lady Sisters, sadly enough. But it has this additional effect to search when it's destroyed by your Harpy card effect or your opponent's card effect. Tag a Harpy monster from your deck to your hand, which is great. Now let's talk about its Harpy Lady Sisters combination effect. So, you shuffle Harpy Lady Sisters on your field, back into your deck. Special summon a Harpy monster from your hand, your deck, and your graveyard to the field. So you have to have those monsters in set. Otherwise, this card just fizzles out. And the bright side to it, of course, is that it gives you 3 new monsters. So if you're running cards like Pet Dragon or Baby Pet Dragon, you can have you can take advantage of them, as well as taking advantage of Chandler or Chandler Perfumer. So Perfumer can search for cards. Oracle can retrieve cards, Dancer, and stuff like that. So that is I would prefer running this at 2, but I fit in, of course, as you can see, some other additional cards to fan out the deck. So let's go on to them. And the first one, of course, is Torrential Tribute to really just wipe out monsters. You can combine this with Harpie Conductor's effect to pretty much pop this, save your Harpy monsters, and get rid of all your opponent's monsters. So that way you can clear the board for direct attacks and not have to worry about any problematic effects. And then let's move on to the last trap card of the deck, and that is Powerful Rebirth. So with this card, you can really take advantage of Harpy Perfumer and her search effect, because if you control a level 5 or higher Harpy, when she triggers her effect, when she activates her effect, you can search for 2 cards instead of 1. So this helps with Rebirth because you can get back a lot of your other Harpy ladies, put them on the board, make them level 5, and trigger their effect. Another monster, of course, is Harvey Oracle, who has the ability to such summon herself while you control a level 5 or higher Harpy monster. Then, in addition to her, you have the effects of Harpy's Feather Rest, so that if you control that level 5 or higher Harpy monster, you can draw 2 cards instead of 1. So, there's your range, there is your setup, and the other additional effect of this is that if it's destroyed, the monster isn't destroyed. So, you can pop this card with Harpy's Hunting Ground upon Hunting Ground's resolution. And it doesn't conflict with Harpy Perfumer because she triggered while the card effect. She triggered in time enough. She was summoned in time enough for her effect to trigger, and this card to give her that 1 additional level up, which is great. Now let's move on to the extra deck. I think it's only fair that we talk about both of the Harpy's extra deck monsters, the first and the latest. So the first extra deck monster, of course, is the first Exceed monster, and that is Harpy's pet, Phantasmal Dragon. While we have the first Link monster for the Harpies, and that is Harpy Conductor. So Harpy Conductor needs 2 wind monsters. Harpy's pet, Phantasmal Dragon, needs 3 level 4 wind monsters. While this card is on the field, while it has received material effects will apply and resolve. Harpy monsters you control cannot be targeted for battle or by card effect. While this card has material, it can attack directly, and during each of your end phases, detach 1 material from this card. So it sets up with Harpy Perfumer. You have a ton of Harpy monsters that can easily be protected and defended by this card. And not to mention, if you control Chandler, it'll help Perfumer, because at that point, Perfumer can search for 2 instead of 1. Now we move back to Harpy Conductor, who can only use each of her effects once per turn. Her first effect is that if a Harpy monster will be destroyed by battle of card effect, you destroy 1 spell or trap card instead. Then her additional effect is if a Harpy monster is returned to the hand by card effect, you can return 1 special summon monster your opponent controls back to their hand. So, removal, offense, and defense. That's pretty much what these two monsters do. Neither of these monsters, of course, are Harpy Lady Sister retrains, which a lot of people thought was going to happen, but unfortunately, no, it didn't happen. But these two are very resourceful to the Harpies, and I'm glad to have both of them. I'm not running multiple back dragon because I think at that point one is enough. And of course, you have a Lumiere Split to special summon it in case you just want an additional beater on the board. Harpie Conductor will become Harpy Lady while she's still in the graveyard, which is the other effect that she has. So you have a ton of synergy with a lot of the other Harpy Lady cards, of course, in the main deck as well. So that is Conductor, and that is Phantasmal. Move on to the rest of the monsters in the extra. That Great Fly is a great addition to win decks because it gives that additional 500 attack and defense, and it has that recovery effect. I decided to drop it from 3 to 2 because I wanted the deck to flow. But maybe if I'm not feeling Darumidol, then maybe it might go back up to 3. But Darumidol has great synergy with Harpies as well. He takes advantage of Harpies in terms of it can be special. You need a win. You can summon it with a beast, with 2 Beast Warrior, Beast, and or Winged Beast monsters, which Harpies have to be Winged Beast. I'll gain additional 100 attack for each Beast, Beast Warrior, and or Winged Beast monster you control. So in addition to it being a Beast Warrior monster and gaining 100 attack, I'll gain 100 attack for each Harpy Lady on the field. And then once a turn, it can, if you destroy the opponent's monster by battle, you can add 1 Banish or 1 Winged Beast, Beast Warrior, and or Beast monster in the graveyard to your hand. And then once you turn, you can select 1 spell attack card each player controls and destroy them. So it has some synergy there. Barrel Load Dragon. You can swap this in for Barrel Sword Dragon. You can put in Barrel Sword Dragon. I like both. If I had access to both, I'd be playing both. Both of them are very amazing. 3k attackers. Harpies have easy access to them. And just easy round monsters to play around with. So, that was the Barrel Load Dragon. That's pretty much it for the Link monsters. We've already talked about Phantasmal, so we can talk about the rest of the Exquisite monsters. Tornado Dragon easily can be summoned in this deck. Pop a spell attack card during either player's turn, so it's additional help and support to Harpies to destroy nasty cards like Mystic Mind or Harpies, or Secret Village of Spellcasters. So I haven't always spell attack cards to do such. We have Lightning Chidori for some additional removal, another easy access win card. When it exceeds summon, you can select a set card your opponent controls and send it to the bottom of the deck. When this card is once a turn, you can detach material from this card, select 1 face-up card your opponent controls, and return that card to the top of the deck. Then you have Lightning Chidori. You have Castel, the Skyblasting Musketeer. He can detach material from himself to set 1 card on the field. So either in face down defenses or just set the card itself. Or you can detach 2 material from this card to send 1 card on the field back to the owner's deck and shuffle it in. So, in synergy with Chidori, you can set the card with Castel, summon Chidori, and Chidori can send that card to the bottom of the deck. Or you just have 2 really good wind monsters on the board. Another note about Castel is it's Winged Beast, so you can take advantage of his Harpie's Featherstorm and use it in combination with Castel. Next up is the ISB-0 Fine. Although she is not a wind monster, she is a Winged Beast. She gains 300 attack for each face-up card on both sides of the field. And in addition to that, she can negate your opponent's card's effects until your next standby phase, simply by detaching 1 material from her, which comes in handy with a lot of decks. The next card up is a bit slower, so you can deal with graveyard effects, such as Salamangreat, a couple of the Ultra guys, and some nasty other card effects you don't want going off in the grave. Gaga Cowboy! 800 points of damage inflicted to your opponent, or you can select 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, reduce its attack by 500, give this card 1000 attack, and then have it swing and take out a monster. It's very rare if it can do that, but if it does, it helps. And then we have Babushka, pretty much a stall out card in case you don't get your opening combinations well. You can just go into some of the other link monsters. The only downside to Babushka is its speed and not Beast Warrior, because I would take advantage of that with doing it all. But unfortunately, it just isn't. But you can take advantage of it with elsewhere. You can allow your Harpy combo setup. But that is pretty much it for the extra deck. And that's pretty much it for this deck profile. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will have more stuff waiting for you guys in the wing. And I will catch you guys next time. Don't forget to hit that notification bell when you guys want to be informed of when I upload. And you can always follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget to hit the Patreon if you guys want to support. So thanks everybody, and I will catch you guys next time. HDJ, signing out.